Hey everyone, and welcome back to the University. Today we have day 7 of the Raymond Davis trial. This is dated August 7th, 2019, so just about a week after the previous hearing, which was the docket hearing. Here we have a motion brought by the defense that they now have a trial conflict. They have a murder trial happening at the same time as when this trial is supposed to go forward. And their solution to this problem is to suggest that the prosecutor hand off this case to another member of her team. How that is supposed to resolve the conflict, I don't know, but I don't pretend to understand the logic. Let's see what the judge thinks about this. I hope you enjoy.
Page 22, C340075, State of Nevada versus Raymond Tyrone Davis. Mr. Davis is present out of custody with Mr. Maynard. Ms. Flowers, Ms. Dixon, on behalf of the state with Ms. Flowers. This is on, in regards to a trial setting conflict. I see where the conflict is. So, Mr. Maynard, did you speak with Ms. Collins in regards to, where you guys wanted to move it to?
She sent a few emails. I believe she sent them to the court as well. She said that she would not be available for an earlier date. So I think at this point in time we would be at this point in time we would be, in her email she suggests that perhaps me and Mr. Mueller go on 2 different cases at the same time.
Oh.
One of those cases is a murder case. We're going to both need to be in there for that. The other case is Mr. Davis. If we could move it back a week or 2 weeks, she seems to be suggesting that she's going to be in trial in both those weeks or throughout that period. We would ask maybe if the DA could assign if she could hand it off to a different district attorney. They have an entire team dedicated to the specialty.
No, that's not how this works. I mean, you guys agreed on a trial date, and you're coming in here and saying we need to change it, which I'm happy to do. That's fine. But we're not going to say to the DA, you got to find another DA. I mean, that's just not right. I mean, you're asking for your...
Well, Your Honor, and I definitely understand that we're the one moving the court for consideration here. And we are asking for a favor, and I definitely understand that. You know, I don't want to get too much on the soapbox in this, since I am here to ask a favor. But the DA does have an entire team of folks.
I'm not moving her off the case. It's not happening.
Oh, and we're not asking for you to move her off the case. We would assume that that would be an internal DA.
No, I'm not asking for the DA to move her off the case. I mean, especially in kid cases when a kid or, you know, someone under 18 develops relationships with prosecutors just like a defendant develops a relationship with his attorney. I'm not going to tell a defendant, go find somebody else, your attorney isn't available. I'm not going to go tell a kid victim, go find somebody else because the defense is in another trial. It's not happening. So you guys need to figure it out. I mean,
Judge, with all due respect, Ms. Muzage just informed me she'd like to be here for this.
oh, okay.
So, I'm sorry.
All right, so Ms. Lusage is coming down, Mr. Maynard.
She's in the
I'm sure he's thrilled about that. All right, so just take a seat. Let's wait for someone from SBU to come.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Gill, you want to get in here while you can?
I'm trying, Judge. You don't.
All right, so let's go back on to page 22, C340075, State of Nevada versus Raymond Tyrone Davis. Mr. Maynard, did you catch Ms. Lusage up on where we are, or do I need to tell her?
Yeah, I think we're up to date. I think she came in up to date actually.
And I apologize. Ms. Collins had told me that your chambers had requested that she be here. She's in trial, so
Oh,
that's what she heard.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand. When people are in trial, I understand they can't be here.
Yeah. So I wanted to be here because she didn't want anybody to think that she was ignoring the court.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I'm on with the court's indulgence. I actually had another question.
Okay.
She's in trial right now, and then she's going to start.
All right, Aaron. We certainly understand the court's position, the DA's position. We view the relationship between the DA and the witnesses and sensitive issues like this, and we're certainly very sympathetic. We would just be asking at this time then to, I know Ms. Collins, DA Collins has trials scheduled, but there's always a possibility that they're going to deal at the last minute. crazy things happen. We all know that, the last minute right before trial can be a make it or break it time. We would hope to set a trial date in that period for the time when she's currently scheduled for trial with the status check beforehand, just to see if it is in fact going to go forward for sure for the, a week before, with the understanding that if it's going to go forward, we're going to have to move around somehow here and figure out something else. But if we could get moved to an earlier date and then just have a status check, if it doesn't go forward, if one of our other trials doesn't go forward, we could take that slot and just move right on ahead.
It doesn't work that way. We have a trial date, we notice our cases, we subpoena them, and we can't move it up.
So I think alright, so my understanding of what Mr. Maynard was saying before you got here, Ms. Lusage, because I said, here's the thing. We were set to go to trial, everybody announced ready, then the defense filed a notice of alibi late, which
Correct.
made us get a continuance. So then we do an evidentiary hearing and we pick this trial date that we currently have, because the defendant was in semi-invoked status. Now defense has a conflict with this murder trial, and so I think what defense is asking is can we vacate the current trial date, pick a new trial date that Ms. Collins currently has, with the understanding, hey, if that other case that she has goes, then this is getting kicked. But if it doesn't go, then this one can go. Do you know what?
I do, but he wants to move it up. That doesn't give us time to do.
What are you asking? Oh, wait, because it's the current trials on September 9th.
So we would be asking for a date, either September 3rd would be the week before that. There's a holiday on the 2nd. September 3rd would be the start date before that, which would be almost 3 weeks.
I know, but there's no way we can have her ready for 3 weeks with all of those out-of-state alibi.
Well, none of that. If he has a conflict with the 9th, how could we go on the 3rd? Because it would go into the 9th.
So, and we also just posted an amended alibi witness, and it is down to one, and that is local. He is local here in Las Vegas. He's actually the only person on the original alibi witness list. There was a misunderstanding between me and my client. He's actually the only person on the original alibi witness that will be actually testifying that Mr. Davis was in another place. Other folks were living with Mr. Davis at the time and will be saying that the alleged events and the alleged victim were not there, were not around. They'd never seen her. They'd never seen anything like this, anything like these events. So, as far as an actual alibi witness, a witness testifying that Mr. Davis was elsewhere, there is only going to be one, and that will be Fred Wolf. Fred Wolf. We've filed the amended list. I do think I have a copy of it here in here, if that would help.
No, it's fine. I mean, I accept your representations in regards to that. I just didn't realize that our trial date, I mean, we're
It's
asking,
30 days from now.
yeah, we're asking the state to,
Right.
yeah.
If they don't like September 9th, they can move it back, but we can't move it up.
I mean, I agree. The thing is, and if Ms. Collins were coming in here saying she wants to move the trial date, I'd do the same thing. If you want the trial date moved, then you gotta eat some time. I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You guys picked this date, we were all here, we all picked a date that worked for everybody, and now you're saying you can't do it, which I get. But at the same time, if you wanna move the trial date, then you're gonna have to eat up some time and pick a new trial date. Otherwise, this trial date's gonna stand. I mean, he's out of custody, so then you guys gotta pick something else.
And we understand that, Your Honor, and the difficulty here lies in the fact that, the client has invoked his constitutional right to a speedy trial, and we understand the inconvenience on the other side of the aisle here, and we're sympathetic to it, but we also
But
aren't.
you don't get to.
Wait. He didn't invoke his constitutional right to a speedy trial. He invoked his statutory right to a speedy trial, and those are two very, very different things.
You can't invoke.
I did in fact invoke our constitutional right to a speedy trial.
You can't invoke and then keep saying the date doesn't work for me. That's just not how it works. I mean, you invoke and then you file the late alibi, and now you wanted to stay in invocation even though the continuance was necessitated because of you, and now you want to move it again because the date doesn't work for you. That's fine, but I mean, at some point in time, you can go on the very next
And
staff.
Your Honor, when we set the new trial date, we would have asked for an earlier date, but for the fact, again, understanding the fact that the court has a civil calendar for the next period, and that was the next possible date. In that, we need to move it again, in that, you know, it's going to be seemingly difficult, if completely impossible, if not completely impossible, to go on the date that we had set. We'd always wanted an earlier date. We always wanted.
Okay, but you picked that date, and so now you're telling me the date doesn't work, so you're gonna have to pick a different date, and it's not gonna be before that.
And a date 30 days or 60 days thereafter is still within his constitutional speedy trial right. It just isn't within his statutory speedy trial right.
So, that being said, that stack ends on September 30th. The next stack doesn't start until November 12th.
Well, Your Honor, we would ask that the trial date remain for at least the moment so that we have a chance to confer. We will reach out as soon as humanly possible. This is going to take a little bit more negotiations, and we'll look exploring a few more possibilities, and not to mention discussing this with our client at length as to how he wants to proceed before we set a new trial.
And what murder trial is it that has a conflict?
Morales in DC.
17. Do you know who the DA is?
I don't right off the top of my head. I can't recall.
Because how do we know, I mean, how do we know that that's for sure go?
That was going to be my next comment.
I mean, as I said earlier, you know, there's always a possibility things will shift around. As I understand it, that one is fairly set in. That's just, again, we can understand these things as we stand here today, and it can change. But our understanding is that that's pretty firm, that the offer versus the evidence is not one that we're likely able to take. And as far as I understand, and again, Mr. Mueller is handling that case more directly, the DA is not amenable to changing it, so it doesn't look like that one's going to negotiate.
All right, well, we're just going to keep it as it is now, and then...
And we'll get it back on calendar as soon as possible if we need to change.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.